A very good afternoon. You are right in time for the Younib TV News at 1 with me, Jesicah Adiang. We have a lot lined up for you this 11th day of September, including the looming crisis in the country's higher learning institutions, where the university's academic staff union issued a 7-day strike notice to the government to comply with the collective bargaining agreements. This and more after the highlights.
We are issuing a 7-day strike notice beginning today.
My honest submission is let there be a blanket admission by this administration that they wrongfully detained
what we have agreed for all federations, they have to improve on their governance.
Thank you for choosing Younib TV. Now, the judiciary is under scrutiny following a directive from Parliament for a special audit concerning the operations of a 5.3 billion Kenyan shillings judiciary mortgage scheme fund, which has functioned beyond the legal framework. During her appearance before the National Assembly's Public Accounts Committee, Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Wachera, struggled to clarify how the scheme has been operating under a memorandum of understanding with KCB Bank for the past 12 years without any legal foundation.
In the Parliamentary Service Commission is comparable.
Are you sure? Or is that
Yes.
Are you sure?
You know, at what point? Were you using SRC rate before? Have you ever used SRC rate before?
Let me say no. The Judicial Service Commission interpreted their mandate as provided for under 172 vis-a-vis Article 230.
You're coming to tell us they are yet to be implemented, to be approved. You are going through the stages and you are busy implementing a car mortgage scheme. Why are you defying the law?
You see, MOU is a gentleman's agreement, and you're talking of 5 billion. What happens if KCB tells you, my friend, you don't have money here?
There has been a misnomer on that issue of the legal framework. And that is why, for the past 2 years, we have made efforts to ensure that we regularize and have the legal framework.
Let now that letter from National Treasury also come out, if it is there at least, to say that National Treasury also breaks the law and they assist and aid institutions to break the law, because that's basically what the accounting officer is telling us.
So don't bow too much to the Supreme Court judges and the Chief Justice. Follow the law, or else it's you who will be hanged, not them.
Now, moving on, the government has allotted a period of 7 days to respond to the grievances presented by the universities, or it must prepare for a nationwide strike. Led by the university's academic staff union, UASU, the lecturers have warned that they will disrupt learning in all public universities and colleges throughout the nation if the government does not comply with their demands. In the process of issuing the strike notice, UASU Secretary General Constant Wesonga criticized the government for its failure to fully implement the collective bargaining agreements.
We are issuing a 7-day strike notice beginning today over failure by the government to implement 2021-2025 Phase 2 CBRS for the financial year 2025-2026. Totaling to 2.73 billion. The second reason why our members will go out next week is failure by IPCCF and government to negotiate, conclude, register, and implement the 2025-2029 CBA as per the law established under the recognition agreement that we executed on 28th October 2019 with the Interpublic University Council Consultative Forum. The third reason why we are going on strike is failure by IPC, by the government, to implement the 2017-2021 CBA as per the Employment and Labor Relations Court judgment in Nairobi in ELREC CBA number 1 of 2020, CBA number 2 of 2020, and CBA number 3 of 2020.
Now on to health matters, as financial limitations persist in crippling both public and private hospitals throughout Kenya. The Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, located in Eldoret, has suffered one of the most severely affected public institutions, now facing a significant financial crisis. Chief Executive Officer Dr. Philip Kirwa disclosed that the hospital is encumbered with a debt amounting to nearly 3 billion Kenyan shillings.
We've approached government, and with the support of these members of parliament and the chair, we believe we should be able to get, at least in a supplementary, what we require to be able to pay for the staff in terms of their personal emoluments.
3.13 billion shillings have been reimbursed by SHA to Singishu County. And out of that, Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital received the highest, 1.3 billion.
The hospital has incurred expenses, and there are healthcare workers here who are actually supposed to be paid salaries and other things like drugs, medications, supplies, the implants, and so on. And these are supposed to be procured, but the patient has not paid, and SHA has actually rejected that claim.
They started receiving money, but unfortunately, again, money started reducing, especially after the COVID. And even this year, as we are talking, they have zero in our current budget.
The hospitals that you are being referred to in India and everywhere must first have a contract with SHA. So a Kenyan can go to foreign treatment if he's going to pay for himself.
Now on to matters politics. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka and Sabauti MP Caleb Amisi asserts that compensation for victims of protest is futile unless justice is served for those who have lost their loved ones. While addressing a youth advocacy meeting in Ufangamano House, Kalonzo stated that the government has already acknowledged its accountability for the injustices inflicted upon the youth during the protest and now must guarantee that every victim received a justice they rightfully deserve.
And then the state will say, we'll compensate you. We'll kill you, then compensate you. My honest submission is let there be a blanket admission by this administration that they wrongfully detained, they wrongfully maimed, they destroyed people's property and blamed it on other wrong people, that there must be a blanket apology to the Kenyan nation. That would be something. But you cannot just, compensation without justice is not compensation. Honestly, there must be justice and demonstrable ability to say sorry.
I think I've been in so many of these youth advocacy meetings until I've exhausted. I just need to listen to you and let's have a conversation.
Now we're taking a short break, but we will be back with more updates.
never the best. Hallelujah.
Welcome back. Now, Mombasa County Governor Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir has stated that his administration needs a minimum of 17 billion Kenyan shillings to address the sewage issue in the county's second largest city. During his appearance before the Senate County Public Investment Committee, Governor Abdul Swamad acknowledged that the city's untreated sewage is being discharged into the Indian Ocean due to failure of essential sewer lines, including the Kisongi and Kipevu lines. However, Nasir disclosed that his administration has contracted a company that will commence repairs on the sewage system this month.
And what we are basically doing, Chair, is one, this problem, we need to ask ourselves when it started. The line that used to be for Kizingo, which was handling Old Town area and handling part of Majengo, died 30 years ago, actually 33. The question is, what are we doing about it now to fix a problem that had been there for many years? He's right about Chuda. And I think he knows more about Chuda because that's where he lives as well. But majority of the people who are given permits to build, and this is historic again, people who built 20 years ago, 30 years ago, instead of putting a septic tank with a biodigester, what they opted to do was connect on stormwater, which is a huge illegality. When we took office, we made a decision and said, block everything up. People who've bought some of those properties as a third buyer and a fourth buyer came crying and said, give us a solution. If you block this, then all the sewer goes back to our houses. And what we have now opted to do is, amongst the contract that we have signed, is to put a huge fecal treatment plant in Mwakirunge. 2, we have sent in regulations which we have already gazetted to ensure that every household compulsory has to have a bio digester. And with the contract that we have right now is every household, we will figure out using utilities to bill every household.
Now away from Mombasa County, now on to Baringo County, where 9 candidates have shown interest in vying for the UDA ticket in the forthcoming Baringo senatorial by-election. With only 10 days remaining until the UDA nomination, contenders are intensifying their efforts to persuade voters and obtain the party ticket. The Baringo senatorial nomination, set for Saturday, September 20th, 2025, has drawn 9 individuals aiming to occupy the position that became vacant after the passing of William Cheptumo in February.
Kwanza kabisa imebakia chini ya siku 10 ili tuweze kupiga kura yetu ya nomination ya chama cha UDA. So personally I'm well prepared and I'm not prepared alone. Mimi niko na ira ya wananchi vijana wenzangu. Sisi tumejipanga, tutalinda kura yetu vilivyo. Sasa ukiniona hapa mimi kama Chemitei, I am not alone. Mimi niko na jeshi, niko timu kubwa yenye tutalinda kura yetu, haiwezi ibiwa. Personally mimi nilienda mpaka party headquarters ya UDA na niliweza kupewa ratiba, nikaelezwa jinsi ambavyo hiyo kitu itafanya kazi, na mimi mwenyewe nimeridhika. Hiyo kitu itafanya kazi vizuri na hakutakuwepo na wizi wote wa kura. Na mimi si ule mtu naweza ibiwa kura. Mimi nimejipanga sawa sawa, niko nao wananchi, tutapiga kura zetu na tuweze kuilinda mpaka haki yetu itendeke.
We are well prepared. We are waiting for our nominations. We know the party is well prepared. The party has an organ called the NEB, National Elections Board, and the National Elections Board has always been prepared. We believe the party, UDA, has never messed with any nominations whatsoever. Our party believes in free and fair nominations, and whatever method the party is intending to use, because we haven't been called, no one has called us to tell us which method will be used. I'm hearing from you that we are going to use the electronic. We are all prepared for anything. If you use the ballot or electronic voting, we believe the party is well prepared to do it fairly.
Now on to sports news. The Ministry of Sports has reiterated its collaboration with sports federations to enhance the sports sector in Kenya by implementing modern infrastructure, robust governance, and institutional reforms. During a consultative meeting with federation leaders, the Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Muvuria has underscored that the effective utilization of the limited resources available through the sports fund, along with transparency and adherence to government regulations, will be crucial for fostering growth.
Not isolating specific federations. What we have agreed for all federations, they have to improve on their governance. For example, if they do elections, elections have results. So we don't have a situation where people create a longer conflict which will retard the talent that they are responsible for. So I know there are some with issues, some are here, some are not here, but what I've agreed is that they need to sort out their issues.
One, most importantly, is that they are going to hasten the implementation of awards for athletes because we need to motivate these athletes to perform up to the global stage.
The ministry also in return expects us, and the government expects us also to reciprocate by having a good governance.
Well, the news from the Ministry of Sports wraps up our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you for choosing Younib TV. Follow us on our socials for more breaking news and updates across the nation and all around the globe. I'm Jesicah Adiang. Have yourself a blissful afternoon.